to EVP Mediums episode number 70, titled Turmoil. We travel to Berlin Heights where we meet with our client Tina, who's been experiencing a lot of unusual activity to the point that it's frightened her. She reached out to us to do an investigation to see if we could help put an end to it. As usual, Shelley does the initial interview with the client and talks to her about what's going on in her home in person. We're here with Tina in her beautiful home in Berlin Heights. And Tina, you contacted Dave because you were having some activity in your home. I am the case manager for EVP Mediums, and I normally do the intake interview and basically get a feel for what's going on with your home. So it's a little different this time. I'm not in the know of anything that's been occurring. So if you could, tell me why you contacted Dave.
Well, when I first moved into this house, like in April, I started experiencing things like hearing things that sounded like they were walking up in the attic, and I would go up in the attic. It went on for a few months, and I figured it was raccoons. I went up there was nothing there, and then things started to kind of progress. To, I don't know, the point where it is now, where my cabinets are slamming closed, and I hear knocking in the walls, and I hear music in the mornings. I've woken up in the spare bedroom with something whispering my name in my ear very distinctively and grabbing my arm. And there are other things too, like the dog will stare up at the ceiling and I don't know what he's looking at, and I hear banging in the walls. I've heard knocks.
Okay, and this has pretty much been since the day you moved in? Has it progressed and gotten worse?
Yes. So from the time I moved in, it was just the walking up in the attic, and probably 4 weeks ago, I was up until about 2:30 in the morning and went up to bed, and that's where I heard cabinets started banging in the kitchen, and that's when I got really concerned.
Okay, so when you were up in bed and you heard the cabinets, did you come down and investigate and see what was going on?
No, I was scared.
You were too scared.
I was scared, but there's no way that air can get in here. The way that my house is, there's nothing that could have blown cabinets open or anything like that.
Okay, so when you got up in the morning and started your day, there was no evidence that anybody had actually been in the house?
No.
That could have disturbed those cabinets?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Is there a particular spot in the house where their activity is more prominent? What we would call like a hot spot?
I think there are two spots. There is, the hottest spot is in my now boyfriend's daughter's room, and then in my bedroom. And I say that because I've felt a heaviness there, and that's where I hear everything, but I don't know.
Okay, so
I hear things kind of all over, but
the two bedrooms
sure.
are seems like to be the main point.
One of the tools that we use in paranormal investigation is a psychic medium. The only true psychic medium on our team is Randy. And after our initial interview with the client, sometimes Randy will do it before the interview, but in this case we interviewed our client and then Randy did his walkthrough. You will see that he did pick up on some key elements of spirits that were there, and we did kind of get that in our ITC that supported some of the things that he was picking up on.
So here we are in Berlin Heights, ready to do our walkthrough, and came in the front door. I asked you on the way here what you were getting. Is it coming in better now? Is it making more sense?
Yeah, I still am kind of interested in what we might pick up out in the barn.
Okay.
I do also feel like there's a couple of spots in the house that are hot spots to me. I do feel like there's something in this area that's pretty strong as far as almost like a temper, like a release of temper. This is a way to stay in a central area and be able to, I guess, take out frustration and also try to get a point across.
Okay, so are you looking at this as a spirit, or are you thinking more along the lines of like poltergeist activity?
I believe it's more spirit driven,
Okay.
and it's almost like, to me, a female,
Okay, female energy.
and she is angry, and to get her point across, she would be like an angry mom that will spin around and slam something down, or
Slam the
slam a
cupboard
door and spin around and throw her temper back at somebody.
Do you know why she's angry?
I think she's unhappy because she didn't finish what she started. Almost like,
While she was living?
right.
Okay.
And she's hanging out here because at some point she felt comfort here and she doesn't feel it anymore.
So you think she was a previous homeowner?
I don't believe she was an actual homeowner.
Okay.
But a tie to the previous homeowner, either a family member. My feeling would be a congregation, like maybe they hung out together, they went to church together, they were in life and in family, they were
Okay.
close together.
And
And
then
she
they
didn't-
aren't here anymore.
Right, and she didn't get
she's-
to finish what she wanted to in human form and in spiritual.
Okay.
And she doesn't have that release now that she had before.
Can you tell what era she's from?
Not all that long ago.
Okay.
If I had to say, her passing would have probably been 70s.
This seems kind of peaceful in here.
It's very peaceful. In fact, I think this is her calm spot. I
okay.
think that she will exhibit temper, and then to get her step away, she'll come here and look out the window. And it's kind of like she looks at all this and then tries to think, why is there so much chaos? Why is there so much problem?
Okay.
And it's fueled, and I don't know exactly. About this point right here, I start to feel a change, like right here.
It's kind of like where the shadow falls from the...
I don't even notice the shadow, but to me, it's like almost like a heavy, almost like pushing down on me when I was coming up.
I actually feel that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a period about halfway up the stairs. Yeah.
It's a lot denser up here.
Yeah, there's
Like, if that makes sense.
this room we talked about
In the
in
car?
the car.
Okay.
This room to me is twirling with confusion. It's like it almost takes my breath away. It's a lot of confusion, almost like the spirits will come through and they come in here and they're caught in a whirlwind and bail. if that makes any sense whatsoever, but it's almost like this is a confusing spot for them. I don't know why. I mean, I don't want to say that everything in here is going to give everything away, but to me, this room could control everything in the right alignment. This room could control everything.
This room feels normal to me.
Yeah.
Like I can breathe, it feels normal.
Yeah. This room could control everything that's going on up here.
This is the first time I've done this where we've gone room to room and they feel so physically different. Usually it's, you walk in and it's an upstairs or a downstairs and
I got this weird, like, I guess you might say, voice. When I came in and started to look around, that was saying, don't come in here. Kind of like it would be if someone was shy and they were like, don't come in here. So I get this strange feeling I shouldn't be in here for some reason.
But you're not connecting it with the spirit.
Mm-mm. No, there was just, again, it was a female. Don't come in here. Like, I don't want you to see me. Don't come in here.
Okay. We don't mean to intrude.
Yeah, there's definitely something that just, and it wasn't like a threat or, a nasty get out.
It's just a plea.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want you to see me. Don't come in here.
So all the spirit energy you've picked up so far is all female.
Pretty much. I think that some of the walkers are not, but they're not interested in hanging out. And the room across the hall was just turmoil.
Do you get any sense of where the walkers are coming from or going to?
They're of the land.
Okay.
They're of the land. It's, and they are more period than the female. And I think that makes her even more nervous. There's something has brought all of this on. Is more of a modern woman to the point that she will show her anger as opposed to period when the woman would not show her anger. This woman is not afraid to show her anger. And it's like she's trying to get a point across and trying to say, this is not right. I'm not going to stand for this.
Would she have touched the client? Would she have interacted with her in any way?
I think that she might have, but I believe that there are other spirits that might be trying to comfort somebody.
Okay.
I don't think the touching is intentional to be aggressive. I think it's more of a protection type touch. In our first ITC session outside, immediately, right off the bat, we get clear a female voice that says, how are they speaking to us? That was pretty profound, actually, for us to get right away. But it actually gets a little better. As they're walking towards the pond, the girls are doing sessions and talking as they walk, we get mention of fish or fishing, dropping a fish, and then it actually mentions something about a 14-year-old teenager.
Okay, we have Shelly and Marcia and Randy. We're here to talk to anybody who's willing to speak with us. Okay, we have Shelly and Marcia and Randy. We're here to talk to anybody who's willing to speak with us. Sorry, a lot of you talking. Can somebody give me a name? You're hurting? What's wrong? Tell me why you're hurting. Can somebody else give me a name?
Shelley, can you turn that up? Volume up, please.
How many are here with us right now? Sounds like a lot. Is there 5 of you?
5.
5.
Wait.
Wait.
Help.
What can we help you with?
Try a validation question.
So many of you. Okay, if you can hear me and you can understand me, can you say Ohio?
Ohio.
I heard you. Thank you very much. Who's hanging up out in the attic up here in the garage? Making all the noise.
Teenager?
Lenny? Take somebody to the grave.
Okay, we're gonna walk a little bit. We're gonna walk towards the pond. And I want you to keep talking to me. I told you my name. Can you tell me my name back to me?
Michelle.
Okay, Shell. Okay. Steph. Okay, Steph is our cameraman, or is your name Steph again? Okay, we're gonna walk towards the pond here. Can anybody tell me anything about this pond? If you can hear me and understand me, can you say Berlin Heights? Try hard. Berlin Heights.
Yeah.
Say it again. Lower your light a little bit, 'cause I can't see. Did you say you're happy? Can you say Berlin Heights?
I think he just did, just before you asked that.
Okay, we're doing another validation. This time I want to see if you can tell me how many fingers am I holding up?
Did you hear 2 fingers?
I heard it very, very lightly. Very lightly. Can anybody tell me what we're standing near or next to?
A pond.
Right, there's a pond. We're only here to help. Help, yes.
Yeah, help us. I heard that.
We will help you.
Does anybody know who I am? Can you say my name? Yeah. He said that's David, and I heard someone else say they call her Joyce.
Is she here?
No, she's over there.
Oh, okay.
Alfred, are you here? Who's here?
Is the 14-year-old a male named Martin?
By Jenny Pass. By Jenny Pass.
Jenny? Is Jenny the 14-year-old? How did Jenny pass? That was a full sentence, but I don't know what it was. She said.
If anyone here tonight wants to be crossed over, can you please say heaven?
It was.
Yeah.
Heaven don't want to take me.
There's got to be more than one. Who else wants to go to heaven? Say it. We will help you. Joyce again?
Yeah.
Ask her to something. They're talking about Joyce. I think she needs to be in a session. They said Joyce, and they said ask her to something. But I didn't catch
Okay, well,
it.
Joyce is going to speak with you in a little bit. We are going to cross you over tonight, if you're willing. But we do want to get a story from you before you go home. So can you tell me who is scaring Tina? Man? You want to go to the barn?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cut it until we get to the barn. Go ahead and cut it.
All right.
No, I got it. You turned it on, Okay.
Somebody just say my name. Hensley.
Oh.
They said your name. Who said my name? Who's saying my name? David, who's saying my name? I'm gonna help you. I promise I'm gonna help you.
Female, there was.
I'm with Alfred.
Well, then you're pretty cool if you're with Alfred. You're
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so this is the workshop. Is there anything you want to tell me about this building out here?
They're just getting angry. Said they're getting angry. Just getting angry.
Are you angry with us? Okay, let's try another validation. Can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up?
The female, she said, help me cross.
I heard it like in an underlayer.
Yeah.
There's a female that sounds very, very distressed. To the female, what is your name? How old are you? Judy? What's the name of her?
Jenny.
Jenny. Is there a Jenny here with us? Jenny, can you say hello?
Wow.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Jenny, how old are you?
10.
10. Okay. Jenny, can you tell me how you died? Jenny, are you with your grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, what's grandma's name?
Hey, Jenny. Can you tell me, Jenny, what this is? Jenny, what is this?
Very good.
Thank you, Jenny.
Something else. I'm gonna do the scary doll. How about this?
Did you hear Bigfoot in there?
No.
Jenny, what is this?
What is that, sweetheart?
What is what? What is it that I'm touching right here?
In the ITC session in the kitchen, it was really bizarre. We, for the first time ever, using a ITC program, an algorithm called Spiritus. Now, we have never received this type of sound through this box. But interestingly, before this sound effect or this shocking sound comes through, we do get them saying train. And then shortly after, you hear what sounds like a locomotive freight train coming in the distance, and it increases in intensity. So much so that if you watch, Joyce is like getting goosebumps. She's getting pretty nervous. And then it gets loud to the point where it sounds like it's going to crash through the kitchen, and you will hear Shelly actually panic, yelling at me, turn it off, turn it off. It was a pretty profound thing. We've never had spirit communicate to us quite that way. We did a lot of research trying to find out if there was a train accident in that area. Of course there were, but none that kind of supported the ITC that we were getting. That doesn't mean, however, that there wasn't spirits involved in a train accident that are on that property.
What are you trying to get across to us? Why are you slamming things? Tell us what's bothering you.
Okay, we're gonna try something different. And just so you know, we're not gonna hear a whole lot of what you say live. We'll take this back and listen to it, and we'll get the story. Can somebody tell me what the dog's name is?
Did you hear a bark like a wolf?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm speaking to you now. This is the lady of the house. Is there a message that you would like me to hear?
What's your message for Tina?
Is there something you want to say? What do you think? Do you want to cross over? Do you want to go to the light?
The light.
Let me try another visualization for validation, okay? I need to know that you guys are actually understanding what we're saying. How many fingers am I holding up? How many?
Did you say Tina?
As a woman.
Said a lot.
That's dark.
7? Are any of them children?
One.
What's the child's name?
Jen.
Okay.
What about the 14-year-old?
He's a 14-year-old.
There's another child outside. Don't they need to go to the light also?
Train.
Sounds like a train.
I'm getting goosebumps.
I've never heard that from that ad.
No.
Wow.
Did somebody die on a train?
Yeah.
Was
Were
it
you-
near here?
Wait, is that the music?
What music is that?
I feel an oncoming train. I have goosebumps.
Oh my
I
god.
can hear the like the clanging of
It's
the.
getting louder.
It is. I can... Was somebody hit by a train?
Train.
Were you in the car?
It is getting louder.
It
It's getting
is.
louder. It's coming towards you.
I cannot.
No.
We've never gotten that. Ever.
Train.
Yeah, me too.
Are you stuck? Is the car stuck? Or are you there on purpose? It's vibrating in my hand.
Is that how the 14-year-old died? That is really bizarre. We've never gotten that.
Where was the train crossing? Tell me the location. Do you know?
We're closing this session. This session is now closed.
Turn it off.
Yep.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
3.
Chill out. Turn it off.
In ITC session number 3 upstairs in the bedroom, it got even a little better as it went on because we picked up on what appeared to be an argument between what seemed like a teenager and his or her parent.
When?
Let's try another. You beat them. Okay, so I'm just going to say this again. If we don't understand this live, we'll be able to take and play this back because we've recorded it, and we will understand what you're saying. So tell us what we need to do with this room. Tell us what needs to happen here, and if we have somebody we need to cross over, make sure that you tell us their name so we can pray for them. This lights up. Peter? Did somebody say they were sorry? How many spirits are in this room? 15? It was plain chicken.
What can you tell me about the train?
It was really bad.
It's awful.
Who died in the train accident?
Did Jennifer die in the train accident?
We want to help her. Why are you stuck here?
What year did this train wreck happen? Can you tell me?
7.
Can you tell me what time of the year it was?
Fall.
Fall.
Who was driving?
Stuck. Did you get stuck on the tracks?
Unrest? Is that why it's so hard to rest in this room?
Can you tell me why you're hanging out in this home?
That's what I heard.
What's up?
High school.
I heard they were very religious, but I'm not sure how to address that unless I know what religion they are.
Bad.
Sounds like one of them might have lived here as a teenager. Maybe this was his room.
Or the panic of something else that happened in here drew them to it.
As mentioned first?
Yeah.
It's a couple different issues.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Different,
You're
yeah.
right. Were you eavesdropping?
Yes. That's okay. That's okay.
No, we're really eavesdropping on you, so
Yeah.
no worries. No worries. There's just so much going on here. So why is Tina so scared?
Is somebody trying to help Tina?
Yep.
You're stuck. We're here to help you with that.
With EVP Mediums, our ultimate goal is to not only help our client, but to help the spirit as well. So at the end of our investigations, we perform a crossover ceremony. And to us, it's important that the homeowners and the clients are actually involved in this ceremony or this prayer to open up the light and send these spirits on their way. We also run ITC in the background to try to capture evidence of description of heaven or if they see the light. I have to say, during this session, I really wasn't hearing a whole lot that real time, but I was surprised upon review that we did get some evidence suggesting that they were seeing relatives, that they did see the light, even a few that felt they weren't worthy to go into the light. But we did finish the crossover session. And a little bit of post note here on this film is that our clients, now this investigation was February 22nd, it is now the 1st of April. Our client has not experienced any paranormal activity since our investigation and the crossover, which leads us to believe and hope that these spirits went home. First off, I'm addressing all of you that are here. We're here for a reason, two reasons in fact. We're here to help this family, to help Chris, to help Tina and Billy when he visits. The bottom line is this, spirits, this is not your home. And if you want to go into the light, that's why we're here, to help you go home. But I do want to really emphasize, you cannot be here otherwise. So we are going to pray you in the light open now. The choice is yours to go into that light. I will ask God to take you, but whatever the outcome is, you cannot stay here. So I just want to make that clear. Alright, so if everybody can hold hands. You don't have to make a circle, but envision a light coming down through the center. Father, once again we come to you humbly, throwing ourselves at your mercy and grace, that you hear our prayers and have mercy on these souls. We pray, Father, that you will send your angels down now, open that light and take these children in. Make it clear to them, Lord, that they cannot stay here. They cannot be here anymore. Send the love of Christ, your Son. Send his light. Jesus, please come down and take these spirits home. Whatever spirits you think you did or why you can't go into that light, there is nothing but love and mercy in that light. Look for your relatives. Do you see them? Who do you see? Tell us what you see.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.